What are the easiest type of real estate properties to manage? Well, if you're talking about apartments, that's definitely going to be Class A, newer construction properties that are going to command higher rents. This is because of two reasons. Number one, Class A buildings are newer, so they're less prone to having things break, having major issues, sewer backups, etc. Just the fact that you have a newer building is going to decrease the maintenance headaches of taking care of it. And then coupled along with that, the second factor is that you have tenants who are generally of a higher income bracket, and those tenants find it easier to pay their rent on time, and generally are much more capable and better tenants than some of the other classes. However, the only hang up with that is that usually tenants in more Class A type of buildings have first world problems or first world complaints. So, maybe they get up at 6 a.m. to do their yoga and find that their neighbor's making noise and complain about that versus, a complaint that might be of a different matter in different classes of properties. So you'll still have some issues, but generally you're going to have less of them in a Class A building, and that'll be easier to manage. Another asset class that is generally easier to manage is self-storage. Now, self-storage can really be both ends of the spectrum because there's owners who have not automated well. And if you don't automate well, it will be actually a lot of work to maintain your rent rolls and to rent to people because you have a lot more tenants paying smaller amounts of rent. However, if you automate really well and have your systems down, you'll find that it's much more of a hands-off business, and you can just supervise your systems rather than dealing with tenants in person and finding that it takes up more of your time. Also, self-storage buildings are generally pretty basic. You don't have any toilets to back up. You generally just kind of have boxes with metal roofs and siding, so you don't have a whole lot to take care of on the maintenance side of it, which makes it an easier property type to manage. Another easier property type is certain types of commercial. So I say certain types because not all commercial is lower maintenance. It can be quite high maintenance on some types, but there's certain types of commercial. You'll have tenants that are generally pretty low maintenance and tenants that are also sticky. So what I mean by sticky is tenants who have a lot of money into the fit out that they require for their building tend to stay for a long time because they know if they move, it's going to cost them a lot of money to have to build out to their desired need again. A great example of this is a dentist or doctor's office where they have to have water and a whole lot of very specific lighting and fixtures in order to do their business. So that's a great example. Another very sticky type of tenant is certain types of manufacturing or industrial that has specific needs. And this is because it's not easy oftentimes to find buildings that have the exact capacity. Say you have a metalworking company and they need a lot of heavy power in order to create the product that they're doing. And that's not an easy thing to find necessarily, coupled along with a heavy manufacturing use, concrete floors, etc. That type of tenant can be very sticky and are generally low maintenance because with commercial properties, usually you require tenants to take care of most of the maintenance items like heating and cooling, plumbing, and that type of thing themselves. So those are usually more hands-off, provided that you have a tenant who really needs to stay there and you don't have a lot of turnover within your commercial space. Now, you might think that retail would be a property class where you have a nice stable tenant base, which is oftentimes true. It can be hands-off when you have a good tenant, but retail tends to see more of a turnover rate than some types of commercial. And that's primarily because with retail, it's usually like they're doing great, but if they don't continue to innovate, they will eventually go out of business and leave you without a tenant needing to go find another one. Classic example of this is the Blockbuster company. They had so many video stores, and then all of a sudden they are no longer in business. Retail may have a higher turnover ratio than some other types of commercial, so just be aware of that as you're looking for a property that's the easiest type to manage. So those are 3 basic types of properties that are easier to manage in different asset classes. I hope this brought you some value. If so, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you're looking for investment properties in Pennsylvania or Maryland, please reach out to us. We're happy to help.